Thank you for staying with us on the Joy News Prime. Hello, I'm Gary L. Smith. Tonight, we start with the Sports Ministry, who have cut sword for the construction of a youth and resource center in the Volta region. It will be one of 10 constructed around the country. Here's a report by Moses Yeboah.
Government, through the Ministry for Youth and Sports, has broken grounds for the construction of a 10,000 capacity youth and resource center in the Volta regional capital, Ho. Speaking at the ceremony, the Sports Minister, Isaac Esiama, said construction of the edifice, which would be replicated in all 10 regions, forms part of the government's initiative to enhance sports development in the country.
Over the years, Ghana has had a gap, a huge deficit in youth and sports infrastructure. That is exactly the challenge we are addressing from now. Very important. The talents are there, the skills are there, but facilities, infrastructure, obviously missing for them to develop the talents and their skills. Go around the country, universities would have enough space for youth and sport development. Now when you go, you see streets being blocked by kids to make way for space so that they can play a game. This is unacceptable and needs to be addressed comprehensively as a country. That is exactly what we are doing.
The Youth Resource Center, which is situated on 100 acres land of the Ho Adaklu Road, will house a FIFA standard football pitch, 8-lane athletics track, table tennis, handball and other courts. Other facilities include an ICT center, entrepreneurship and counseling center and a restaurant. The Sports Minister said the construction of youth resource centers is to ensure there is enough sports facilities in the country to enhance sports development. He added his ministry, which is peculiar about the management of the edifice, would provide the needed human resources to that effect when construction work is completed. However, traditional authorities from the Asogle traditional area, who were grateful for the project, impressed on the government to ensure a multi-purpose sports complex promised the region is constructed as well. The estimated $2.4 million Youth Resource Center would be constructed by Wilcado Construction Limited with funding from the government of Ghana. The project is expected to be completed in 9 months.
Just in a month's time, we'll be seeing the beginning of the 2018 Commonwealth Games that's happening in Australia, in the city of the Gold Coast. And as part of the preparations, yet another Australian firm based in Ghana has provided biking equipment to help Ghana's cycling team.
16,000 kilometres from home, the team from Ghana has done the training and is hungry for competition. But they arrived this week with no coach and broken bikes.
Everything mechanical that wears down and breaks did show up here worn and broken.
Not really fit for taking on the best in the Commonwealth.
Honestly speaking, none of us have been running on a brand new tyres and some parts, and we'll be using automated parts.
Then came a chance meeting with Peter Spencer, the owner of GC Bike Fit. He's now Team Ghana's cycling coach.
Boys, please get ready for you to go. Do we have water? Do we have food?
The word went out through social media, and the response was overwhelming. Thousands of dollars in tyres and equipment have been donated.
This is the most amazing show of the underdog I've ever seen in cycling.
And not just for the road bikes. Tandem cycles used for blind cyclists and specialist tyres for racing wheelchairs also get an upgrade.
That's exactly what it is. It's about bringing people together and then helping each other out.
The spirit of cool runnings right here in Queensland.
Feel the rhythm! Feel the ride!
By coincidence, the Jamaican team landed on the Gold Coast this afternoon, led by the world's fastest woman.
I'm always confident.
The Commonwealth is coming, just 2 weeks to go.
2 weeks to go. That report does not look good on Ghana at all, if you agree. No coach, outmoded equipment, broken stuff. And in reaction, Ghana's team lead, or the chef de mission, has hit out. He says it's not true. This local report says the team in Australia does not have a coach.
First of all, it is not true that the cycling team doesn't have a coach. The cycling team has a coach, and we have a general team manager for Team Ghana. And it's also absolutely not true that we came out here with worn-out equipment. What they are using now is equipment we bought for Glasgow Commonwealth Games, which they'll be using for all the international engagements. The last one being the Rwanda African Championships, organized by the Cycling Confederation of Africa. So, yes, it is absolutely not true.
So, we come to football now, and the Ghana Football Association is still on its charm offensive. Kwesi Nyantakyi has been speaking in the past couple of days, and one of the things he has put forward is an incentive to curb the bribery, the corruption and allegations of such that have been haunting the game in recent years. He says that his outfit will be given a 30,000 Ghana cedi prize money package for bribery and anybody essentially who whistleblows.
With regard to integrity, we also think that it's important to enhance the integrity of our competitions. So we are offering a prize money of 30,000 Ghana cedis to any whistleblower who has credible information of corrupt practices, bribery and corruption and related allegations. We are not relying on hearsay, credible evidence that we can rely on. We'll take it and we'll give you 30,000 cedis free of charge. It's not a loan. You are not paying back the 30,000. So you take it and then you can do whatever you like with it.
In international friendlies, as you may have heard, Yaya Toure has come out of retirement. He retired after the Ivory Coast won the African Cup of Nations, but he's pulled out of his return to the Ivory Coast due to family reasons. We understood initially that he was going to join the side, and he confirmed this just a few days ago, but the team got to their camping base and Yaya is not there.
Toure has pulled out of the Ivory Coast squad for their forthcoming matches against Togo and Moldova due to family reasons. The Manchester City midfielder was due to be making his return to the international team. However, Toure, who has 102 caps, did not turn up as anticipated on Tuesday and has informed the Ivory Coast Federation he will not be linking up.
Still, in international football, Joe Hart, the former England #1, says he's relying on Gareth Southgate's loyalty to keep his position in his national team. Joe has, to put it mildly, not had a good season.
Hart considers himself England's starting keeper, but admits after an indifferent season at West Ham, he's relying on Gareth Southgate's loyalty to keep his place.
Since Gareth's been in charge, and he's always said to me, I've performed really well for him, and seems like quite a loyal guy. But there's shirts up for grabs. There's three goalkeeper places, and some people performing well in the Premier League. So hopefully I've got my place back now and see where we go with that. But at the moment I'm just concentrating on this camp and being a part of a squad that I've been a big part of for a long time now.
How is your confidence? You've played little football. I wonder how much, whether that's taken a knock at all, and where you go from here.
I'm not going to let that ever affect me. In the position I'm in, if you let confidence dip or go too far, it's going to affect you badly. So, I'm me. I'm going to keep working hard. I've worked hard every day of my life, and I'll continue to do that, whether I'm playing or not.
Well, since his last major tournament with England, Hart's club career has seen him leave Manchester City, join Torino on loan and then sign for West Ham on loan. In that time, he's played 51 league games for Torino and West Ham and conceded 95 goals. That's very nearly 2 per game. He's kept 8 clean sheets but made 8 errors that led directly to goals. His win rate over the last 2 seasons is just 23%. Now, Hart's poor form even saw him lose his place at West Ham. And on his return to the side, they lost 3-0 to Burnley.
Hart has spilled it, and West Ham have been punished again. Chris Wood at the double, and that can only spell more trouble.
Fizzed in, and Joe Hart, that's a big spill, wasn't it? And there's Chris Wood on hand. He's the first.
Yesterday we heard Anthony Joshua speaking. We hear more from him. Now, the British boxer says that it's going to be a bloody encounter in his bout that is coming in a couple of days against Joseph Parker.
Just over a week to go, and Anthony Joshua looks trim, lean and happy. So much has been made of whether he will come in lighter than his previous few fights as he closes in on becoming unified heavyweight world champion.
Weight fluctuates for different opponents. Every opponent brings a different arsenal. So in terms of having one pinpoint weight for every single opponent wouldn't be wise. So in terms of Parker, you know, I think a certain weight category for me in terms of the heavyweight division, whether it's 115 kilograms, 116, 114, is relevant for the opponent. So I'm feeling good, and that's the main thing, regardless of whatever weight I'm coming in at.
With what appears to be less bulk on the shoulders and some quick footwork, it's clear the extra speed and sharpness will be a big part of his overall approach, as well as being mentally in a good place.
A happy fighter is a good fighter, so we make sure we do what's right. There's loads of different little things, like running at 5 in the morning. It's the old school. That's when people had to box, go to work, come back home, go to the gym. So, you know, rest is important, so I'm making sure I'm resting. I'm not getting up at 5, 6 o'clock anymore. I'm making sure I get my rest in so I can use all my energy in the boxing gym and for the activities ahead of the day.
And while the likes of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Dylan White are making plenty of noise in the background amid an increasingly exciting heavyweight renaissance, Joshua is adamant his focus is entirely on Joseph Parker.
I've seen that there's been a lot of talk about the future, but my future ends March 31st, and that's where my goal is, and that's all I'm focused on. And Parker, if he wasn't such a lively opponent, maybe I could talk about what's happening in the future, but I can't take my eye off this guy. You know, he's talented, and I'm sure he wants to prove himself to the world.
So despite the smile, when it comes to his opponent, Anthony Joshua is deadly serious. The eyes of the world will be watching on March the 31st. Fraser Dainton, Sky Sports.